cost you time and money and things that may not be in your budget. So make for sure you stay tuned to the very end. And while we at it, make for sure you like, you comment, and subscribe, and turn your post notifications because your girl giving you free game. So make for sure you stay to the very end so I can teach you the best strategy on how to get that vehicle, okay, with no cosigner and no money down. All right now. To the 700 club. I'm gonna need you to leave that 4, that 5, and that 600 credit score at the door. I'm your girl Nika Johnson, a credit coach and budgeting expert, and today I'll be teaching you about how to get a car with no money down and no cosigner. Now, if you don't watch this video to the very end, you may be in the market of getting a new vehicle, or maybe you just purchased one. That's okay, because I'm gonna make for sure I give you everything that you need to know to guarantee you get the best deal and save the most money on your next chance on a new set of wheels, okay? So are you ready to ride around town in style? It's time to level up your wheels and drive off the lot in your dream vehicle. Now, when it's time to purchase a vehicle, there's so many different ways that you can buy a vehicle. You could buy one off of Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace. You could buy one from a private party, look it in the newspaper, or just going to a dealership. But whatever your choice is, I need to make for sure that you're getting the most bang for your buck, because as your credit coach, I need to make for sure you in your budget. There's so many different options on how to choose and where to pick out a vehicle. We got that down, right? Don't just go to one place. I don't want you to get stuck in just going to the most popular dealership. Go search at different ones, even if it's that same vehicle, because you can create a bidding war, and we'll get to that at the end, in a sense of who's going to bid for your business. Which one is going to give you the best deal? Let them know, hey, you got this car and you're interested in purchasing it from dealership A, but then you also got another similar one when you want to purchase from dealer B. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, and don't tell them your next move, because you want to make for sure you holding all the cards. You don't want to say too much to where you're giving the salesman more upper hand. Now, before we get to the dealership, you want to make for sure that you are pre-approved. So you got it in your mind, you're ready to buy a new car. Okay. We know where we can buy a vehicle. Okay. Now we need to make for sure that we're getting pre-approved. You want to avoid going to the dealership from running multiple hard inquiries on your credit report. Hard inquiries last for 2 years, 24 months. Rest assured, you can remove them. You can check out our 24-hour inquiry removal ebook, or sign up for my company and we can be able to get those done, taken care of for you. Ultimately, you want to get that pre-approval because you want to make for sure that you know what's in your budget. You don't want to fall in love with a $30,000 vehicle, but you're only approved for $25,000. Why? Because you have to come up with a difference. So you just want to make for sure that we have that pre-approval before going to the dealership, because a lot of times people don't realize is when you go to the dealership, predominantly, 9 times out of 10, people are going after hours. They're going on a Saturday, and then banks close. Some banks is only open 4 hours on a Saturday. They're closed by noon or 1. So when you're purchasing the vehicle, you're thinking that you're approved by the bank, but then they don't get that paperwork until Monday morning from that dealership, and they running and crunches those numbers throughout the week. And you don't want to be placed in a situation that they're calling you and saying, hey, you got to pick up this vehicle or you need a cosigner. But I'm going to teach you on how to get a vehicle with no cosigner and no down payment. Every vehicle I ever had, I did not pay a down payment and I did not need a cosigner. My first vehicle was a '09 Chevy Impala. I purchased that back in college, going into my sophomore year. My credit score was like around a 700. I purchased that through a credit union. My second vehicle after that, I rode that car until the wheels fell off, literally until it broke down on me on the interstate one day. I enjoyed not having a car payment. And so then the next vehicle after that, I was able to purchase a Dodge Charger, and I was able to lease that. And I will be teaching you guys, there's ways that you can make money off your vehicle. I have helped several hundreds of people to do the same as well. I purchased that, and then I purchased an Audi Q8, and then I have a BMW now. So within that, I am experienced, and I have helped thousands of others purchase vehicles as well. I want to help you too. So we want to make for sure that we're avoiding not putting a down payment on there. Now, let me go ahead and clear the dead air. A lot of people say putting a down payment is illegal, and I would have to disagree with that. Looking at the laws and just doing your research. Now, it's illegal if the numbers don't look right on that financing paperwork to where they're trying to pocket that money. But it's not illegal putting a down payment on a vehicle, because if you are financing more, your car payment is more. So some people, even if you had good credit, you can put a down payment on because you don't want to finance that much. So when I hear these things on TikTok saying that it's illegal, I do my research. I don't see where it's showing that putting a down payment is completely illegal. Now, there is ways that you could get out of a loan, such as the terminology that they're using on that loan paperwork, and such as specifically putting a down payment is not necessarily illegal. You can place a down payment just because you don't want to finance, or because you're approved at a certain threshold because it is going to hit that DTI. You may get approved for a vehicle for $35,000. Anything excess of that, you're going to have to come out of pocket and come up with that difference. So but let's get back to it. Typically, when you purchase a vehicle over the weekend, they crunch your numbers and things like that. You want to avoid from them picking up the phone and calling you saying, hey, you're going to have to bring this vehicle back, or you're going to need a cosigner. And so you don't want to find yourself in a sticky situation. So in order to kind of avoid those things, I will recommend getting approval from your local financial institution. You can race shop, you can call, Google different credit unions. Credit unions typically is going to provide a better interest rate over a bank. Sometimes banks are able to approve higher loan amounts in regards to that. When you're purchasing that vehicle, you want to make for sure that you're avoiding excessive part increase, you know what's in your budget, and also because you save yourself the embarrassment. Don't fall in love with a vehicle. There's been people that had a vehicle for 2 weeks going on a month, and it just does not work. You're gonna have to bring in the vehicle, so you gotta be able to get a point A to point B. So now that you got a pre-approval, now it's time to go to the dealership and find the vehicle of your choice. When you're at the dealership, make for sure you do not answer pre-qualifying questions. What I mean by that is that the salesman is vetting you. They want to know, are you putting any money down? Are you doing a trade-in? Do you know the value of your vehicle? What type of monthly payment amount are you looking for? Do not answer those pre-qualifying questions while you're on the lot. There's a difference between a salesman and financing. A salesman cannot make any type of loan guarantees, okay? A salesman cannot guarantee you to get approved. I hate that. I done seen that, and I will come out there and fact check someone. A salesman job is to get you in the car. Then they get you over to financing, and financing responsibility is to crunch those numbers, pull your credit, and see if you qualify for it. There's ways on how to be able to get approved for a loan without having to verify your POI, which is a proof of income, based off your credit. The better your credit score is, the less likely, guaranteed of whatever income that you place on the paperwork, they're going to go off of that. So it's something called WAC with approved credit. So you're going to fill out that paperwork, typically with that salesman, that inquiry where they're going to be able to follow with you, but then they're going to put WAC typically on that paperwork, and it's with approved credit. So based off of your credit, this is what everything looks like that is going to be good and golden. But again, a salesman cannot guarantee you anything. By law, that's what get people caught up sometimes, of putting a payment down if it's illegal, not illegal, based off of what is being advertised. So when people say that putting a down payment is illegal, there are many factors of why someone will have to put a down payment on. Is it because their credit is bad? That means it's too risky. So you may want to purchase a $20,000 vehicle, but the bank is only going to give you $15,000. That is example A. We're going to have to come up with a different. It could be because you're already co-signing on auto loan, so it's hitting your DTI, so you need more income. It could be because your income's showing that you don't afford it. So there's so many different factors of where it comes to why or why not you have to place a down payment on a vehicle. To say that it's illegal, that is untrue. Essentially, there's some cases where it's absolutely required where you're going to have to put a down payment. It's untrue where they say that the down payment is a salesman commission. That's inaccurate. You selling a vehicle, they getting credit of it, that's going to be part of their commission. So according to the law, is not required to place a down payment down. That is facts. Now, it's not illegal for placing a down payment either. If your credit and your income support the purchase, maybe you don't need a down payment. I ain't never put a down payment on a vehicle. When they ask you certain questions, and let them know you just haven't made up your mind yet. You're just searching for a vehicle, and leave it at that. You don't have to have all the answers right now, but essentially what they're going to do is vet you, okay? So when they're asking those questions, let them know why you're here and keep it at that. And go ahead and enjoy test driving a vehicle. Yes, the salesman is going to try to get you to narrow down whatever vehicle that you want, but keep your options open and go to multiple dealerships, and don't limit yourself of saying, hey, I only want this vehicle. Go go test drive it. You may want an Audi, but an Audi may not be in your budget, so go test drive a Volkswagen. They're all in the same house. They're still built by the same company. So there's different alternatives to make for sure. We at the dealership, we find the vehicle that we want. Now you're ready to pull the plug. Now go see financing. That's where you can start answering some of those pre-qualifying questions. Now, let's say that you are interested in trading your vehicle. What I will recommend is knowing the NADA value. Don't go off a blue book. What you can do is contact your local financial institution and give them the year, make, and model of your vehicle. Also let them know how many miles you have. What is that trim level? They can give you more realistic value of your vehicle versus the blue book value. That's one thing. So make for sure that you're getting the best value, because if you're doing a trade-in, typically they're going to give you a little to nothing, on a vehicle. And so you can be able to rate shop. Again, y'all know I love rate shopping because it's budget friendly. So you could go to 3 different dealerships and ask them how much this will be if they buy your car. Sometimes it's easier to sell your car instead of doing a trade-in so you can get more value off of it. What I mean by that, let's say your vehicle is worth $20,000, but if you did a trade-in, they're only going to give you 15 of that. But instead, you could take that $20,000 vehicle and go sell it to CarMax. You could go sell it to a private party. But if you're enjoying this information, make for sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned to the very end, and we're gonna keep dropping these gems, okay? So those are options that you could be able to make money off your vehicle by selling to the vehicle, and sometimes you may not want to do a trade-in. Sell it to another dealership, or you could be able to sell it to a private party in regards to that. If you want to keep both and then turn around and sell it, you can do so, but be careful with that DTI. So now that you got the vehicle that you are enjoying, it's time to run your credit. This is true. If you have bad credit, typically that's why they're going to require for you to put a down payment or need a cosigner. When you have good credit, you're not a high risk, meaning they're going to go off of your credit. If you walk into a dealership and someone got 800 plus credit score, you're not too prone to look up their income. You're not asking for the last 2 paycheck stubs to verify their income because the credit shows. Any vehicle that I've had, I have not had income verification. My credit talks for me. And so this is why I always say credit is cash. Like, credit is going to take you so much further. One of 2 things that I want to kind of leave with you is, as a previous loan officer, is that there's something called tier bump you. So if you have less than 4 trade lines reporting on your credit report, so your credit score could really show a 700 credit score, but you only maybe had 1 or 2 credit cards. Those minimum payments on those credit cards is typically $35. Now, when you want to go purchase a vehicle, what happens is certain banks with tier bump, because of your credit score, you should qualify for a better interest rate. But because you have less than 4 trade lines, they tier bump you, which means they're going to give you a higher interest rate. That's not always fair. Not all financial institutions do that, but some do. And this is why I say don't be loyal to a bank. Be loyal to yourself. You do not have to go to the financing companies that the dealership recommend. Sometimes they say, hey, if you finance with this company, which is their partner company, we'll give you X, Y, and Z, some type of kickback. A salesman tell you that you got to stay here and keep this loan with them for 3 months, 6 months, or a year. That is false. They only do that because it impacts their commission sometimes. So they may not get a full 100% of their commission. They may get half when you purchase the vehicle, and then after that time period, then they'll get the rest of it. But you can refinance the vehicle at any time. If that loan is financed at a financial institution, they gave you a special rate because that means you was high risk, bad credit, then they may not allow you to refinance, but doesn't mean that you can't refinance elsewhere. Wherever you finance, make for sure that company is reporting to all 3 credit bureaus. Financing a vehicle and buying one is going to help build your credit. Why? On-time payment history. So that length of credit history in regards to that. A couple things that's going to happen when you're at that financing table, they're going to ask you what type of payment that you want. The reason why they're going to ask you this is because they will extend that term. So sometimes instead of doing a 5-year loan, they'll do a 7-year loan. So a 7-year loan is 84 months in regards to that aspect. So typically, you can do a loan from 60 months is typical on average to sometimes I have seen them all the way up to 84 months. Make for sure that, the longer that you're extending that loan, depending on what type of vehicle that you purchase, you don't want to roll any type of negative equity to where that vehicle is going to depreciate as soon as you drive it off the lot. Another thing at the financing table that they'll let you know, they're going to try to add all these add-ins. You can get extended warranty. I personally don't get extended warranty on newer vehicles because typically it's going to already be within the manufacturer warranty. So sometimes adding those extra add-ins is what causes your vehicles to become upside down and have negative equity, meaning that the vehicle was worth $20,000. You purchased at $20,000, By the time you got done, it ended up being $22,000. So now you're over the value of the vehicle, and that's how you cause negative equity, and people don't realize that sometimes. Similar example of when they ask you for gap, typically there are marking up the prices of gap coverage. Gap typically could be around $550, and the dealership is going to sell it to you at $900. All these add-ons is what's going to help the salesman commission. There's nothing wrong with commission, but just know the difference of the things that you need and you don't need, and just don't get yourself tricked into a bag and paying for some things that you're not going to utilize, because that ain't in the budget. Okay, you can be able to get gap coverage through your actual car insurance company, or you could get it through the financial institution that you're financing. You can ask them, hey, do you offer gap coverage? Some financials even offer warranty coverages if that's something that you choose to opt in to do so. Another bonus that I want to leave before I get out of here is that you can finance in your licensing tax and that loan as well. You just want to be able to ask for more money. So if you purchase a vehicle for $50,000, you may say, hey, I want a loan for $55,000. They'll cut you a check for the difference, or sometimes when it's being financed at the dealership, that excess income, they're going to put that into a savings account. But ultimately, the way to be able to purchase a vehicle with no cosigner and no down payment is getting your credit together. Simply put, bad credit is expensive. You are high risk if you got a 500 credit score. You're a high risk if you have repossessions on your credit report. It doesn't matter if it's voluntary or involuntary. If you called them and told them to come pick up the vehicle, or they came to pick up the vehicle because you quit making the payments, it's because of your credit. So if you want to get a vehicle with no down payment and no cosigner, make for sure you check out the different resources that I have available in my description to make for sure that we can help you improve your credit. Make for sure you grab our ebook on tips on how to buy a car, so it will teach you step by step on what you need to do on how to navigate those conversations at the dealership. How do you get the most money, and how can you be able to sell your vehicle and profit it? In 2 different transactions that I have personally made, I have made over $10,000 off my vehicle, and I have helped others do the same. So do vehicles depreciate? Absolutely, but not all. Some hold its value, and it all comes down to negotiation. So if you want to know the secrets of buying a car, why don't you click the description below and go grab that ebook. Before we get out of here, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on those post notifications. And I just got one question for you. Is that in your budget?